Hey guys, and welcome to another amazing, fun-packed episode of Power Up Thursdays. I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying delivering some amazing content in this particular way. I really am, and I get so many great compliments from people. So I just wanted to say I'm truly thankful for your great comments and reviews that we've had for the podcast. I'm truly blessed. So literally today, I wanted to talk about something which my belief is that a lot of entrepreneurs and professional business owners in particular find extremely difficult, which is all about delegation, right? So, and I've got like some personal stories that I really kind of want to share with you because, I've been there, been there, got there, been there, done that, and got the t-shirt essentially. So I know exactly how each and every single one of you guys are thinking right now. And it can be extremely challenging right now. But interestingly enough, there was a really great episode that we did actually, the Game Changers Experience. And one of the speakers, now forgive me which one it was, I think it was with Gary Ridge actually, about don't be a soul-sucking CEO. When he was talking about micromanaging, right? Now, in these strange, eerie times, as I like to call them, delegation is probably going to be one of the key factors. If you want to get serious business growth, then you've got to start to delegate, because the big problem with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of professional business owners is that they wear too many hats, right? The big problem with wearing too many hats is, listen, the big problem with that is that you try to learn too many skills, right? You try to be everything to everybody, okay? And honestly, from experience, it's completely and utterly overwhelming, because there are just so much things to do. You steer the ship, essentially. You lead. You're the leader of your own business, and I know the thought patterns that go through people's heads. So some of you are thinking, well, the reason I don't delegate, or the reason I don't delegate as much as I should do, is number one is you think it's quicker and easier to do it yourself. And listen, I get it. I totally understand. So that's the first thing. Secondly, micromanaging. So I kind of mentioned this again, micromanaging and just kind of doing everything and anything. And again, the big difference between myself and you is that I suppose that I've mastered the hard way more than anything else about the art of delegation. We have we have a marketing team now, essentially turning, for example, this podcast into different mediums. We have a variety of different articles that come out on medium.com. We're experimenting with some amazing videos on YouTube and launching a TV channel. So a lot of things, and I'll talk about passions. I'll go to passions in a second. The other reason why entrepreneurs and a lot of professional business owners don't delegate as much as they should do is, number one, is the third thing is thinking about money, right? So, and I want to address that. Like right at the beginning here, is because I guess from my perspective, okay, I have some questions to ask you. And these are really thought-provoking questions that maybe you may or may not have been asked these in the past. But I think what I'd like you to do is, if you haven't already got one, is get yourself a notebook and pen handy, because I want to ask you a number of questions. And I really kind of want you to write down some answers, okay? And think about the answers to the questions I'm just about to give you, all right? So my first question to you is, how do you value yourself? All right. And what I mean by that is financially, how do you value yourself? Okay. So we've all got, we've all got goals in our life. We've got financial goals, fitness goals, wellness goals. We've all got goals in our life, which is great. I admire people who've got goals. Now, if we think about it financially, so say, for example, your business is turning over, I don't know, £250,000 as an example. Okay. In fact, make it easy, because I will make it, we'll round it up. Say your business has financial goals, and you've set the financial goal of earning £100,000. All right, just hypothetically speaking, that's a pretty good turnover. So say you start at 100 grand, okay? So within that 100 grand, okay, how many weeks of the year, okay, are you going to work? Okay, so there's 52 weeks in the year. Generally, most people have between 4 and 6 weeks off. So we'll just say for today is that you're going to have 4 weeks vacation. So that's 48 weeks. Okay, great, 48 weeks. Now, typically, how many hours would you typically do on a daily basis? All right. So say, for example, I don't know, you did 10 hours. Again, we'll round it up. Okay, you did 10 hours. And say we did, I don't know, 5 days a week. Okay, so that's essentially 50 hours. All right. So what you need to do now is that you need to take the £100,000, divide it by 48, which is because there's 48. In fact, I will do this with you guys, right? Just to make sure that I have got my numbers right, because there's nothing more embarrassing to make sure that I haven't got my numbers right. So 100,000 divided by 48, which is essentially £2,083, okay, per week, okay? Now we divide that by how many hours did we decide? Say we divide it by 50. So if we divide that by 50, we've now got £41.67. If we was to round it up, say £42, because that's the nearest denominator. So £42 per hour is how you should value yourself, okay? And if you are essentially doing tasks or activities which are, I suppose, less than £42 per hour, then essentially what you're saying to yourself is, I am devaluing myself. Okay. All right. And I'll go through the thought process here. Okay. Because some of the things from my perspective is, again, I want to ask you another very specific question is, make a list. What are the passions that you have within your business? What's the real reasons why you do your business? Okay. So let me give you an example, right? Some of my passions about running my business actually is that I love to create content. So things like this, for example, Power Up Thursdays, doing interviews, doing YouTube, writing articles. I mean, literally, I'm a content creator. I love doing content. It's fantastic. It makes me feel happy and fulfilled. I love building relationships. I love building trust and credibility. I love building my brand, So there are certain things that I really enjoy doing about my business. Do you know what I mean? So there's some real strong points for me. But there are some things that I really detest. I really do not enjoy doing it. And, and for example, managing my social media or, managing my inbox as an example is a great example. And, so there are certain things that I enjoy and there's certain things I do not enjoy. So what I would like you to do is, I want you to write down a list of things that you really enjoy. What are some of the passions that you love about your business? What do you enjoy doing in terms of activities? Okay. And what are the things that you don't enjoy doing? And again, we'll talk about this in a second in a little bit more depth and detail. Because if you can start making a list of passions that you really enjoy doing, then you focus on those things. And all the other things that take time is, again, delegating those things out. And again, we'll go into more depth about going and doing that. The other thing, which is the third thing, is going back to the reasons, your big why. We've talked about why in numerous conversations, okay? So does the activity or whatever it is that you're doing, does it align to your why? Okay, does it align to your values? Does it make you happy? Does it make you fulfilled? Does it energize you? Okay, because again, if it doesn't do those things, then again, it needs to be systemized or delegated out. Okay, and the fourth question, okay, and again, this is the last question that I want you to write down, okay, is how much will it cost you? And I'm not just talking financial costs. I'm talking about how much would it cost you if it's detracting you away from your passions. What is it costing you as a business? Okay, so those are the four questions that I ask for you guys. Again, I want you to use your notebook and pen and paper, pause this audio right now and think about, how can I delegate more? How can I systemize my business more? Okay, because the more that you do that, the more that you're going to feel that you have more control. You're going to feel a lot more empowered. You're going to feel like, and the thing is that if you delegate more, you systemize more, you will grow your business faster. I can guarantee you that. We've got the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. It's what you do with that time. You know, I had the same time as you guys. I just managed to get probably about 10 times done more than the average entrepreneur and professional business owner because I've mastered this. But listen, I used to be where you're listening to this audio, okay? Where I used to be I used to wear those hats all the time, you know, but you know, we all go through a journey at the end of the day, right? The other thing that I'd like you to do right now, okay, as you've got your notebook and pen out and handy, okay, is I want you to put on the top of the pages, my stop doing list. What are some of the activities right now that you could have sent that you really dislike doing? I call this the stop doing list. Okay. So many of you have a to-do list, right? And it's probably endless. Okay. You always, and this is why a lot of entrepreneurs and professional business owners, you guys essentially are so time poor because you have these never ending to-do lists and they will never finish. Okay. But what you guys need to realize is you need to have a stop doing list. Okay. So make a list of activities that take up a lot of your time. The questions you have to need to ask yourself is, does the activity, whatever it might be, okay, social media, managing your social media, operations, you know, managing your numbers, whatever it might be, creating graphics, does it make you happy? Okay, because if it doesn't make you happy, you know, use your notebook. Does it make you happy? Put a smiley face or a sad face, because if it doesn't make you happy, then can it be delegated out? Are you empowering your team? So effectively, one thing that I do with my team members is that I give them full projects, and there's a communication, there's expectations. I manage it, but I don't do it. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, and sometimes it's really hard to let go. And I get it. It's really difficult to let go. But, you know, if you want to grow your business, if you want to scale it to the next level, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to cost you a lot of money. That's the only way that you're going to effectively grow the business efficiently. Is the task reoccurring? So when it comes to, so if you look at the best way to actually do this, right, is to actually get a weekly journal. Write down all of the activities that you do. Now, in one of my episodes, I think it was in Time Management Secrets, I talked about the power of essentially having your day, okay, and blocking it out into 30-minute segments, okay? Writing down all the activities that you do within that 30 minutes and then spreading that over the day. Then you can get an idea about what you're doing on a day-to-day operational basis. So if you're doing something on a regular basis, whether it be, I don't know, managing emails, creating graphics, whatever it is that you're doing, okay, can it be systemized? So can you use tools out there that can essentially be systemized to make your life easier? So one of the real basic systems for me is a CRM system, all right, or an email management system, okay, because it's going to make your life so much easier, all right. Another great system, you know, some of you may still be doing your own bookkeeping and accountancy, depending on, again, who's listening to this podcast. But if you are there systems out there that you can leverage to make your life a lot easier? I mean, I hate doing those things. I have an accountancy, I have a finance team that manage all of that kind of stuff. They just report back to me with the numbers. Okay. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. It just doesn't interest me at all. So it's really important to, you know, empower others, leverage other people's skills that they're more passionate about it. They'll get it done faster, quicker, and it'll take you probably 10 times longer because your heart and soul's not into it at the end of the day. So really, really important to take into consideration, right? So what are some of the things that you could essentially put on your stop doing list? Well, number one is, if you don't enjoy writing and managing your social media, for example, you know, it can, you know, and Gary Vaynerchuk mentioned this, about the fact that, there are so many different social media platforms out there now, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, depending on where your target audience is kind of hanging out. And to articulate and create different content for different social media platforms can be really overwhelming. So can you delegate that task out? Can you get a virtual assistant, for example? It's a great opportunity to do so. Creating graphics, there are so many great tools out there. But again, if you're creating graphics, which might be for a particular event, whether it be a virtual event or a digital event or whatever it might be, if you're creating your own graphics, okay, can you find a graphic designer that can do it for less money and can do it in less time than you? Is another good question. Again, day-to-day operations in terms of if you're managing clients or customers, or if you're shipping products out or whatever it might be. Are there certain things that you can use in terms of to make the operations more smoother and more efficient? Administration tasks, I already mentioned email, for example. Email takes up so much time for a lot of people. I'm actually thinking about doing another time management secrets or Power Up Thursdays episodes. I think I'm going to probably do that in the next few weeks or so. So that kind of be interesting. Research. Research can take up a lot of time. If you're doing some market research and you're trying to find out something, which if you're trying to create a particular product, or you're creating something new, or you're focused on something, and can you delegate the research out? Lead generation, again, are you creating certain channels? Are you managing the follow-up? Who's doing that kind of thing? You know what I mean? So there's certain activities that you could essentially do, right? And there's certain things that you can delegate out to. You can use systems as well to make things more efficient. I'm big on systems this year. I mean, I probably implement, like, once we implemented systems in our business, I tell you what, it's like plain sailing. Initially it took up a little bit of time to set it all up, but now it's, we have a great email system, for example, which is all automated. We have like I mentioned, a marketing team, which are great, who create graphics. We have a marketing team that, effectively we have a guy who does a lot of stuff for our podcasts and videos. I have my virtual assistant. I have my finance team. Literally, I just delegate. I'm a delegate king now. So, it feels so empowering. Okay. It feels so empowering when you delegate things out and you let things go, because, you're going to feel free. That's how I feel. I feel free, man. I feel free, and I feel like I can do so much more with my time. I feel like I can serve more people. I can impact more people, rather than being bogged down by things that I really don't enjoy doing, So I hope that today's, I suppose, Power Up Thursdays episode has given you a little bit of insight about how I suppose I run my business, and how you could effectively make your business a bit more efficient, a bit more effective. And, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on social media or whatever it is. That would be kind of cool. So listen, guys, hope you've had a fantastic, hope you've listened to this attentively. What I would recommend you do is to go back and re-listen to this audio. Okay. Stop, pause, rewind, go back, because there are some really important questions that really need answering more than anything else. Okay. So, stop doing list. Okay. It's probably one of the most powerful things that I got taught, as being an entrepreneur. And I tell you what, it takes a big weight off your shoulders at the end of the day. All right. So, hope you've enjoyed today. Have a fantastic day, week, month, whenever you listen to this, and we'll see you soon on the next Power Up Thursdays. Take care. See you soon.